Hi, good afternoon.
And just we're recording this just for the record, official record of your proceedings.
Sure, that's great. I appreciate that, Glenn. Thank you. Okay, aloha, everyone. Good afternoon. It's Thursday, June 30th, 2022. I now call the Honolulu County Voters with Special Needs Advisory Committee to order. I'm Mike Formby, Managing Director of the City and County of Honolulu. I want to welcome and thank all of the advisory committee members for your willingness to serve and be a part of this advisory committee. Your participation allows dialogue to begin to help the county understand and consider recommendations that can help improve the voting process for voters with special needs. I want to now turn the floor over to Sam Moku, the Mayor's Chief of Staff, who will act as the interim chair of this advisory committee until a committee chairperson is appointed. All right, Sam?
Well, thank you, Managing Director. I'm honored and welcome everyone. I'm honored to welcome everybody for joining us here today for the first meeting of the Honolulu County Voters with Special Needs Advisory Committee. Just to share some background, Hawaii became a vote-by-mail state after the passage of Act 136 during the 2019 legislative session with the implementation with the 2020 primary election. Work began statewide to transition from voting to traditional polling place to voting by mail. The Honolulu Election Division visited and learned from various states that had successfully implemented vote by mail and adapted the process to make it work for Honolulu County. It was also during this time that COVID-19 shut down the state for an extended period of time. However, this did not deter election officials from continuing the work to ensure the 2020 elections would not be adversely affected. In 2020, inaugural vote by mail election was a success and reversed a long-standing trend of low voter turnout for the state of Hawaii. Following feedback received after the 2020 election, state legislators passed Act 213 during the 2021 legislative session, making refinements to the implementation of vote by mail in the state. Act 213 also established a statewide as well as respective county voters with special needs advisory committees, which is why we are gathered here today. Before we start our meeting, I have some procedural announcements to make. Pursuant to Act 2020, Legislative Laws of Hawaii 2021, in order to allow public participation in a manner consistent with safe COVID-19 practices, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology and the following procedures in effect for this meeting. Members of the public will be allowed into the meeting room and may view the meeting live using Zoom interactive conferencing platform. Our oral testimony will be accepted both remote and in person on all items at the start of the agenda. The following are some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and will be limited to a 3-minute presentation on all items. For those that may be joining us by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Once all the testifiers have testified, I will close the public testimony. Written testimony, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public on the city's website. As a courtesy, please turn off your cell phones for the duration of the meeting. Mahalo. So I will start with the roll call, right, Glenn?
Yes.
Okay. Members, I would like to welcome you. Call the members in attendance. We have is Ho'opio Balaz,
Mhm.
you wanna, so as I call your name, maybe just introduce yourself real quick. Opio
I am
Balaz.
Opio Cluny Balaz. I am a member of the D Council, also part of this group, and now recently apply as a member of MCH Land. I might unfortunately be leaving in a bit because of an appointment, but glad to be here and seeing all of you guys.
Terrific. Next up, committee member Donald Sakamoto. Please introduce yourself, Donald.
Yes, Donald Sakamoto, a longtime voter. I voted in 1980, was the first time I voted to president. I'm also with the National Federation of the Blind, and we advocated, the Hawaii chapter did advocate for Bill SB 548 in last year's legislature to have this important committee for special needs voters elections. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Donald. Next up, committee member Charlotte Townsend.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlotte Townsend. I'm currently retired. I have a long history of advocacy within the state and county government. I'm just pleased to be able to help if I can. That's all.
Thank you, Charlotte. Last committee member, hopefully he's here, Brandon Young.
Yes, hello.
All right, Brandon.
Hi.
You may-
Hi, everybody. Brandon Young, National Federation of the Blind. Community member. I'm here to help with the elections committee, and I want to thank Donald for persuading me to sign up, and hope to do whatever work I can. I'm trying to get Zoom on my computer, so I'll be switching to that soon, hopefully. Thank you.
Great. So those are our committee members. Right now, we will be heading towards testimony. We will now proceed to
Oh,
agenda.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry
Yes.
to interrupt. This is Shannon Lau with Corporate Counsel, and I'd
Okay.
like to interrupt and ask for an executive meeting to provide some counsel about the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities. So if we could have a vote to quickly go into executive session.
So moved. I need a second.
The
you-
second,
So
Yeah,
we're gonna go into executive session, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't, sorry, this is Glenn from the city clerk's office. Sorry to interrupt. I don't know how technically you're gonna be able to do that. It looks like there are some members of the public possibly are logged in as well. And so I don't know if that's possible, that might have to be done on the side somehow. But there are some logistics involved in that.
Okay,
Shannon,
so I will find an alternate means of communicating. So, all right, let me
Yeah,
just do that then.
yeah.
so what do we do?
So should we continue with testimony?
Well, you have a motion, right? Don't you have a motion on the floor? Or was it not?
I think we removed that motion, Shannon. I look at a different way to,
I am contacting Kevin,
oh, I see.
so
Okay.
hopefully he can communicate.
So Sam, can you withdraw the motion then?
Withdraw the motion.
I mean, and then you could go on, if you withdrew it and she can come back with information from Kevin at another time, or I don't know.
Shannon, does it affect us moving forward?
Yes, can we get all the members on video?
Mhm.
You wanna
Oh, I see. We
Try.
need, yeah,
I don't see all the members on video.
yeah, Brandon is on a phone. I can see Brandon on a phone, but he's not on video. But but I think Donald is also on a phone, right? Donald, where are you? Where did you go? Oh, there you are. You're in the top corner.
Yeah, I'm on
Yes.
video, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Donald and Brandon are the only two that are not on video.
Oh,
And
okay.
eventually, we're gonna lose Ho'opio because he has to leave for an appointment.
And nice seeing you guys. Hope to see you guys all in another meeting again. Thank you for letting me join for the first few minutes. Mahalo.
All right, take care.
You
Thank you,
too.
Ho'opio.
See you again.
See you.
Okay. Bye.
Sam, is it, I'm not on video right now.
No, I don't see you on
Mm,
video.
And that,
Yes,
And Mr. Young, is there a way that you can link into the video?
oh,
for the
Mr. Young. No, you're trying to get on video. There we go. Okay, we got Brandon on video. We just
Hi,
need,
this is Doris. Sorry to interrupt. We're able to assign a breakout room if you need to conduct executive session. Assign core counsel and everybody that needs to be in the breakout room to completely separate into a breakout room so you can conduct the meeting separately.
okay,
Would that work for Corporation Council?
Yes, that would work. Thank you.
Hold on, I'm gonna try this. Hold on a second.
okay. So I'm just gonna say we're gonna go out into executive session.
So what's going on? Sorry, I was trying to say.
Brandon, Donald, Donald, and Charlotte and myself, along with Shannon, will go into executive session,
Okay.
and then we'll be back. Donald, try to do your best to turn on your video.
yeah, try
So
to figure that out.
Everybody click, or the members.
Sorry, is anybody still there? In the clerk's office, since you're the host.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
I'm on with MD's office real quick.
Okay, I was gonna say Donald's trying to log on. His computer doesn't have a mic and his phone doesn't have a camera. So he is going to be logging on to both. So if you can move that one into the breakout room when he gets in.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Right now. Oh, yeah. So we're improvising. This is Sam Moku, interim chair. We're just improvising. Donald is FaceTiming me and he's actually on looking through my camera on Zoom. So we had to do a little makeshift on our virtual meeting here. So where did we leave off? We're at testimony. Glenn, that's kind of where we are, right, Glenn?
Yes, I believe so. That's where you left off.
Okay, we'll now call the meeting to order. So again, I just want to explain to everybody, we have Donald Sakamoto, member Donald Sakamoto on my Zoom camera. And he's actually on a FaceTiming me on my phone. So that way everybody can recognize Donald on the call or on the meeting, the virtual meeting. Okay, we will now start off with testimony and proceed with agenda item number 4, oral testimony. Testifiers, please be ready or on standby to testify. Knowing that technical issues can arise, I will give each testifier a few moments to try to resolve minor connection issues. However, if those issues cannot be resolved, I will have to move on to the next person. When I call your name or your phone prefix, and hopefully I see mostly names. Please state your name for the record and the agenda item or items that you're testifying on. Let's see. Do we have, it looks like we have, I'm gonna call Annette Tashiro. Annette, can you hear me?
Yes, hi. I'm not a testifier. I'm just attending the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
If you need to know who I am, today's my last day as the chair of the Statewide Independent Living Council.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet all of you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the call. Next is En Bueno. En Bueno, can you unmute? Identify yourself. En Bueno. Okay, getting there. En Bueno, are you on? We can't hear you, En Bueno.
You know, Sam, I think that she's that staff from the state elections office, but she seems to be having some
Okay.
microphone issues, I guess.
Okay,
Maybe we can have people who want to testify raise their hands.
thanks, Kevin. Michael Sonucci.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm the Assistant Elections Administrator.
Okay,
I'm not testifying.
thank you. And I think there is one caller, but there's no number, so I'm not sure who that is. Any other testifiers? If there are none, if there's none, I will close oral testimony for all measures. All right, we're gonna move on. Members, we will now proceed with agenda item number 5, selection of committee chairperson. Members, do we have a motion to proceed with selection of committee chairperson?
I make the motion. This is Charlotte.
Second,
Brandon, second. Okay. Motion to proceed with selection, chairperson. Who's volunteering to be chairperson?
Donald Sacco volunteers as chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, so moved. Donald Sakamoto is now the chairperson. It has been moved and seconded. The floor is now open for nominations of, oh. Wait, is that right? No.
I don't know. I didn't vote. Aren't we supposed to vote?
Yes, nominations. Okay, the floor is now open for nomination of committee chairperson. Do we have a nomination? Oh, wait, that was just repeated. So committee member, are there any further nominations for chairperson? No.
I'll nominate myself for chairperson just to make it interesting.
Oh, okay.
I move that, sorry.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I move the nomination ceased and that Donald be elected by acclamation.
So moved. Second. All right,
All right, all in favor?
there are 2 votes for Donald to be chairperson. All right. Okay, so moved.
Okay, yay, Donald.
Is chairperson. Congratulations, Donald, on becoming the chairperson of the Honolulu County Voters with Special Needs Advisory Committee. As we are not able to provide the committee chair, as we are not able to provide the committee chairperson with the meeting materials prior to this meeting, I will continue to assist the chairperson, Donald, for the remainder of today's meeting only. For future meetings, meeting materials will be provided to the committee chairperson, Donald Sakamoto, prior to the start of the meeting. So I'll just kind of help Donald along. Okay.
Thank you.
Chairperson, Chair, the next agenda item is number 6, which is selection of committee vice chairperson. Chair, the selection of the committee vice person is not required. However, typically vice chairpersons preside over meetings in absence of the chairperson. Chair, the floor is open for nominations of the committee chair, vice chairperson. Members, discussion.
This is Brandon. And I'll nominate Charlotte if she'd like to serve as vice chair.
Oh, are you asking me to?
Would
There's
you
only
like to?
three of us, so if you don't want it, Brandon, it's up to you. If
I
you'd like
mean-
to take it, go right ahead. I'll just do whatever I can, but there's only the 3 of us. So I don't want to take it. If you would prefer to serve, that's fine with me. So
I mean,
you make
this
the,
is- I'm the new guy here. You guys are served on multiple committees, so.
all right, then I'll take it if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Don-
that would be well,
I
please.
can do.
Okay. Okay, Chair. There are no further nominations. I will take a vote for selection of vice chair. Charlotte Thompson.
Yes, I vote for Charlotte.
Okay,
Yeah,
Brandon.
And then thank you.
you're welcome.
Chair, there were 2 votes, so the motion carries. Charlotte Townsend has been elected as committee vice chair. Congratulations, Charlotte, on becoming the vice chair.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Charlotte.
Chair, the next agenda item is number, is that right? Let me check. Number 7, adoption of rules for the Honolulu County Voters with Special Needs Advisory Committee. Chair, the advisory committee does not currently have any rules for adoption. Up for discussion.
What kind of rules were you thinking of? Why was that on the agenda? Do we want to create rules? Is that what the purpose is?
That's up to you guys. That's up to you guys.
So can you give me an example of a rule?
Good question.
I mean, say there's 4 members on the board right now, right? There's 4 of us. So if
Correct.
2 don't show up and there's only 2 of us, are we able to issue quorum and move on with business? Or what are those rules as far as that goes? Is it the majority of those present that will then become quorum? Or do we not have business conducted? So I don't know whether you're talking about those kind of organizational rules, or do you want to fall back on some kind of current policy or rule the city already has for their meetings? But it's such a small group, so I don't want it to become an issue if we get stalemated on something. So maybe you could kind of explain that a little, if you could.
Okay. Shannon, maybe you can clarify a little bit. I mean, knowing the limited amount of members we have. Are you able to comment, Shannon?
I think she's.
So
gone.
I would need to go to executive session to provide counsel regarding your duties, liabilities, privileges.
Okay.
Quick question, Sam, question.
Okay.
Donald here, if we went to, I went to talk to other committee members, what's the limit? Is it two? One committee per person? What's the sunshine law for collaboration?
I think that's 2.
Are you saying that this group has subcommittees that are going to have committees that you plan to have more people join on? Is that what you're thinking? I can hardly hear you.
A committee or subcommittees to discuss.
Go ahead, Donald.
So would there, we can have what, two people or 3 people on the committee? Not more than 2. That's not asking.
I think because of so this is just my thoughts. I think because you guys are, it's just really 4 members. I think it's best to just, if you want to break out into a committee, obviously you got to have more than 2. But I don't know if there's a need for a committee.
Should just move it to executive session so she can explain it to.
Okay. We're gonna let's move to executive session real quick.
So you gotta have one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doris,
move-
hold on a second. I'm gonna create a breakout room for executive session again.
Could you just make a motion and
Motion to
yeah.
Donald. Motion, Donald.
Yeah, I mentioned that we go to executive matters. Do you have a second?
Aye, Brandon, second.
Thank you. Discussion. All right, no discussion.
There's to discuss. I don't know why we're going into executive session. So what is there to discuss? So if you want us in there, put us in there and tell us why.
Okay.
To discuss more on what the policies are for conducting a meeting like this with our group.
The executive session would be so that I can provide the council with advice about its duties, privileges, liabilities.
Okay.
All
And
right.
immunities. So,
Okay.
Back. Donald, so we're back in. And as far as the adoption of rules, you can make the motions basically that there's not going to be any rules, right? Except for Robert's rules.
So as a chair, I would like to move that we conduct meetings with Robert rules, do addition for our meeting of the Special Elections Advisory Committee. Do I have a second?
So moved.
Any discussion more?
No.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, those who say aye, say aye.
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 Okay.
Those are nay.
All right, motion passed.
Motion
Motion is
passed.
passed.
Okay, next up, Chair. The next agenda item is number 8. Purpose of the Honolulu County Voters with Special Needs Advisory Committee pursuant Act 213, Session Law of Hawaii 2021. Chair, you wanna, this is the portion where we share the purpose of the advisory committee.
Okay, the purpose of advisory committee is to basically learn from other people who vote. This, I'm blind, Brandon's blind, other people on this board have different disabilities. So how can we get the word out to the public to submit their concerns with the elections for electronic ballot, other special needs? Do they go to a website at the county level? A phone number can outreach? Should there be a survey done to get feedback from the community with their concerns so we can bring it up at this meetings?
I had thought that decision on the type of voting material that we are going to use in the elections as per the state demonstrations, that the equipment for people with disabilities has already been selected. And that I thought part of our major role was to encourage people with disabilities to participate in the voting process. But as far as being the entity that would receive complaints or concerns specifically, is that part of what you have anticipated, Donald, the program is, or is that what the mayor intends us to do? Is to become that collective of concerns, because this issue with the Help America Vote Act and all of its amendments have absolutely studied the barriers. And I know all of us with disabilities have horror stories if we go back in our lifetime about issues, but I really would like to have more clarity on what we do, because I have no desire to be a reciprocal entity of receiving complaints. So if you could kind of clarify that a little bit, I would appreciate it.
I just was wondering, because people with certain disabilities say they don't have any hands or arms. How would they, go about doing the voting process with the machine?
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard for them to do it with a stylus, like to click, click, click in person? Just want to know what the concerns are from different voters, so we can better understand what their needs are.
Concerns rather than to be a collective, but to find out what their current concerns are. I get it. Okay, that explains it a little bit better. Thank you. I wasn't quite sure. I'm still really not quite sure what our purpose is, but please go ahead.
Yeah, we had a person was at Ho'opono for open house with the state elections office anti-committee, and another person. There was a woman who had no arms or hands, and she had to use a stylus with her mouth to click the machine. I just want to know how that aspect goes for those who have barriers, like quadriplegic people with curled hands, and how they tend to vote in person. The accessibility and whatnot. So we all have different challenges in our lives who are disabled.
How did all of 4 of us happen to see the demonstration? Brandon, did you go to any of the demonstrations that the state had to show the equipment that they purchased for individuals with special needs, so that we all know what we're looking at?
I didn't go to the demonstration, but this is my understanding. So right now, at least for the primary, if you want to vote, you have a few different options. A, you can use the paper ballot and have someone assist you, and then you sign it and put it in the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
B, if you're blind, visually disabled, or if you have print challenges, you can go to the Office of Elections and submit for a electronic ballot, which you then can use your computer to Mark and then upload a additional document saying that this is your ballot. And so, and then I guess C, because our state has primarily moved to mail-in process, there are only limited what they call voter centers, right? At Honolulu Hale,
Kapolei.
yeah, Kapolei Hale, and then there's going to be one at the Windward District Park.
Oh, that's right.
So my understanding is, and I guess, is it different than the DREs that we've been using this time with the wheel?
Yeah, it's quite different from the DREs we
Yeah.
used the last time. It's certainly a lot easier. The ballot itself that you're going to use on that machine that they use is the actual ballot that everyone else has. If you recall the DREs before, they had the ballot configuration that was different than the paper ballot. It was a little confusing for many. But from the demonstration I saw, and Donald jump in for a whole Pono one, the equipment was way better than what I remember using with the DRE. So I was hoping that all four of us would become familiar with like all of the options. So when people do interact with us, we are coming from an enlightened perspective of knowing. I mean, I know, Donald, what you say about all of our disabilities present a different challenge. That's true. And it would be helpful to know what those challenges are. But it would also be nice to know when we're successful in meeting the challenge. And I only hear the bad stuff. I don't necessarily hear the good stuff. So if we have to report, I'd like to hear both. But anyway, that was just my thought, that we should all see the equipment.
Well, thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Brandon, for your comments. As the president of Wika Puna VIP Blind Senior Group, one of our members went down to Ho'opono and witnessed the machine, and she tried it, and she also observed another woman, the one I told you with no hands or arms. But Gavin Abe is the coordinator for outreach at Ho'opono, mentioned to Anthony and the other person, when you submit the ballot into a machine, it goes bleep, 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 and then makes a different noise when it's not accepted. So Gavin said, why can't they have accepted the voice and then not accepted? Why you have to make, these noises? So someone with hard of hearing may not be able to understand. That's just one of the challenges that came about when the demonstration was going on, Anthony and other person.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Anthony will be collectively bringing those issues back to the state committee. And at some point, hopefully we'll be able to network with what they find as well. But like I said, if you use the DRE equipment in the older election and you compare it to what I saw the last time, they addressed many, Donald, of the issues that we had, what was wrong with the DRE before. So they did address many of them. Did they reconfigure it to meet everyone's needs? Probably not. But I'm excited to see what the population has to say about it.
And hopefully, based on your own, your own kuleana, but I mean, hopefully, there's other methods so that you could choose not to have to,
exactly.
Hopefully, of the three choices, there would be one that would be able to make it accessible and as close to secure and private as possible.
I think with the new machine too, we're more able to use it as a portability tool for more people, like in nursing homes and convalescent homes who still have the ability to vote, but it's so cumbersome, you know, and the DREs from the past were so difficult to make portable. And we may be able to open to a whole new segment of seniors possibly, you know, to use some of the equipment. So that might be you know, another option for them, which have been options for us. But, you know, seniors are having more difficulties with their dexterity. Maybe we can encourage them to use some of the accessible means as well.
Thank you. I just wanted to add one more thing with the state elections. They're having a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's virtual. And the committee is going to meet a second meeting to discuss how to get the word out to the consumers, the people that vote with special needs, like a survey. They're going to discuss about doing that, other things on the state side. So I'll be attending that meeting to witness what they're doing on their side.
Good. You can tell us all about it.
Yeah. So I'll be attending that meeting, see what they say.
Okay.
Can I share that question? Can I share that with the members, or is that sunshine? If I send information, clarification.
I think you can. Yeah. It's public, that's why.
It's a public meeting, so it's
so
open to the public.
yeah.
I will share it with you folks.
We're gonna just real quick, we're gonna do a little technical shift here. Hold tight. We're gonna get Donald on another camera. Have to Kevin Wong is gonna kind of take over. I have to get on another call. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Brandon.
Okay, see you next time, Sam,
I'll be there the next one.
at your house.
Okay, thank you guys very much.
Your house.
Hello?
All right, sorry about that, guys. So let's continue. We're on number 9. So Chair, the next agenda item is number 9, the report from the County of Honolulu Office of the County Clerk Elections Division on efforts to ensure equal and independent access to voter registration, casting of ballots, and all other county election services. So Chair, can we please call on Mr. Rex Padilla, Elections Administrator with the Honolulu Elections Division, to present the report? Doug or Donald?
Aloha, Chair Sakamoto and members of the Special Needs Advisory Committee. My name is Rex Cadilla. I'm the Elections Administrator for the City and County of Honolulu, Office of the City Clerk. I just want to introduce a few other people who are with us today on the video conference. We have the City Clerk, Glenn Takahashi.
Thanks all for volunteering your time on this committee. Looking forward to working with you all.
I also want to recognize Michael Sunuuchi, who is the Assistant Elections Administrator.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Mike does a lot for us here at the airport location where a lot of the processing occurs for election. And last but not least, I also want to recognize Doris Lam, who did a lot of the legwork for in advance to this meeting to help prepare and keep us organized. And thank you so much, Doris. Just want to really begin quickly with some orienting about elections. The first thing I wanted to mention, something that already Sam had mentioned, was the current election scheme, which is vote by mail, which was enacted in under Act 136 in 2019. Now, this was a major sea change in the way we conduct elections in the state of Hawaii, where it was essentially a universal vote by mail. So everyone who's an active registered voter would receive a ballot through the mail. This was a huge shift because prior to that, we were running a large election that was split between a high number of individuals voting by mail, but additionally, we opened in Honolulu in excess of 150 polling places on election day. In 2014, that number flipped. So the number of people voting by mail exceeded the number of people who were voting at polling places. So the legislature decided in 2019 to completely switch the system over to vote by mail. In-person voting was still being accommodated by a limited number of in-person voting locations called service centers. And additionally, the law also required the establishment of ballot drop boxes. This would complement the United States Postal Service for the delivery and return. The return of voted mail ballots. What is important to understand also, especially as relates to the administration of elections and the concerns you may have as a Special Needs Advisory Committee, is that the administration of elections is split between the State Office of Elections and the respective county elections divisions. Our counterparts, we have counterparts in Maui, Kauai, and the Big Island. There is a division of labor. And so when you folks discuss and consider the various program aspects relating to elections, please consider the fact that we're not in charge of it all. We are in charge of a good chunk of it, but State Office of Elections has a very important role in the running, conduct of an election. So the State Office of Elections takes lead with candidate filing, the printing and counting and tabulation of ballots. They are in charge of the voting system. So I know I've overheard a lot of discussion with regards to the new Hart Verity voting system. Well, they're the agency in charge of the care and feeding of that system. They are also in charge of developing the alternate format ballot. They've also are going to be an exciting new development, establishing a new ballot tracking system that enables voters to opt in to receive updates about where their ballot happens to be at a certain point, whether the mailing and the return and its disposition. And the Office of Elections does the extraordinary and large voter education effort. So a lot of the commercials you may hear, they have the big budget to run these extraordinary and broad voter education efforts. The counties, on the other hand, have also a large responsibility. We conduct and we do voter registrations. We maintain the statewide voter registration database. The mailing and the mailing and receipt of ballots and the validation of ballots, ballot envelopes rather, I should say, is the responsibility of the counties. The counties, operate the voter service centers, as well as establish the ballot drop boxes. We establish them, and then we also do all the collection and the closing of the ballot drop boxes. That was again a new thing for us as a result of Act 136. So 2020 was our very first election. It was vote by mail. There's been a little bit of confusion in the public. They're wondering whether or not it was a one-time thing because of COVID that we were running elections by mail. But no, this is the election scheme going forward. We conduct our elections are conducted primarily by mail. It was as you guys probably have heard, it was a really good result that we had in the election. For the primary, especially 2 years ago, we had a 52.5% turnout. That reversed the trend of declining turnout that stretched all the way back to the mid-90s. Here's a good example. So 52%, 52.5%. Immediately before that, in 2018, the turnout was 38.6%. So a big increase. For the general election, we saw 70.1%. Again, that reversed the trend that all the way dates back. We haven't had that high a percentage turnout since the mid-90s. Again, in 2018, 2 years prior to that, the turnout for that general election was 52.5%. In all, the 2020 election, our very first, our inaugural vote by mail election, we saw more people participating in an election than we ever had in our county and our state's history. So this is something that we look forward to continuing to administer, and we hope that the public continues to embrace the vote by mail scheme. In the aftermath of the 2020 election, the state legislature revisited the election scheme to make additional tweaks and improvements, and they include in Act 213 additional flexibility with regards to the times and hours for service centers and drop boxes. But most of all, it also established this special needs advisory committee. So the requirement here is that this committee meet annually to review procedures, services, and technology, as well as the access to information for individuals with disabilities, and then make those, then forward those recommendations to the State Office of Elections. All right. We have a little PowerPoint thingy, Doris, that we want to fire up at this stage. I want to outline some of the services that the City and County of Honolulu provides. The first thing is that we provide we have a website that is a central location for a lot of the information that we have regarding elections. So what you're seeing right now is our homepage, our elections homepage. It's a 3-column page that has lists our places of deposit, links to voter registration. We also make available to the public translated voter information in various languages, not just those required under the Voting Rights Act. So, for the first time, we were providing languages as varied as Samoan, Spanish, Thai, Tongan, Vietnamese, Korean, Hawaiian, as well as the required languages of Ilocano, Chinese, and Tagalog. The page is JAWS compatible. It also includes a video on how to use the Verity Touch Writer, which is the disabled accessible voting device that will be available at service centers. And also it'll provide audio recordings of the voter registration form, the absentee application form that additionally will provide accessibility information for individuals who cannot see the form itself. We also have a TTY reachable at 808-768-3648. We have partnered with the Library for the Blind radio reading program to share election information, registration, the deadline, voter service centers, and places of deposit locations, and hours of operation. We are partnering with a leading provider of language and interpretation services to provide video remote interpretation and audio interpretation for voters who do not speak English as a first language and require translation assistance. We also have video remote interpretation for American Sign Language. And we have great news. We have, as amongst our temporary staff, election staff for this season, we have one staff member on board who's able to understand and provide on-site ASL assistance if needed. This is a good thing for us that we have for this particular election. Our voter information brochure and packets are available in Braille and large print. Some of the information in these packets includes general information about the 2022 elections, frequently asked questions, voter service center locations and hour of operation, places of deposit locations, and hours of operation. At our service centers, we provide other resources in addition to the Verity Touch Writer. We have headphones for use for the accessible voting machines, magnifying sheets, lighted magnifiers, ultra dome self-focused light gathering magnifiers, grit right grippers. And again, additionally, we have the voting accessible device, which is the Verity Touch Writers. There'll be 4 each at our Honolulu Hale and Kapolei Hale voter service centers. And we'll have 2 each at our Waihiwa District Park location, as well as the Kaneohe District Park voter service center. We have a photo up right now of our voter service center on a rainy day. The entrance to the Honolulu Hale, we're a sign that says voter service center. This is from our 2020 election. I just wanted to run down, one of the places obviously where in-person voting is key to providing services to individuals with disabilities. So as I mentioned before, we will be opening voter service centers at our 2 locations full-time, which is at Honolulu Hale and Kapolei Hale. For the primary election, it'll be open from August 1st all the way through Election Day. The hours are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We're not open on Sundays. We need to take a rest. But we reopen again Monday through Saturday, and on Election Day we will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Those are our hours. But the interesting new feature this year is we'll be also opening up what we call pop-up voter service centers. So these aren't open for the entire period, but for a certain period, this is 5 days. The first will be open at Kaneohe District Park. This location is located in the Kaneohe District building on the first floor. It's the room to your left when you enter the building. It'll be open from August 1st to August 5th. But here's the interesting thing, and this is what is now permissible. We're able to do this now because of Act 213. We are open from that. This is particularly open from 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. So the idea is to stay open during those periods of time. So people coming home from work, there's still hours after hours enable them to come and utilize this polling place, this service center. It also likewise is open for the general election. We go back one, Doris. The general election is open from October 25th to October 29th, again from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. Again, different because the Honolulu Hale and Kapolei Hale service centers won't be open on the regular days as long. So the idea again is for people coming home from work, or have other things during the day that they can't make it, we're going to keep these open a little longer. The second service center is going to be open at George Fred Wright Waihiwa District Park. This is located in the building fronting the parking lot on Kilani Avenue. Entry is in the ceramics room on the right side of the building. This will be open from August 10th to August 12th, 11 to 6:30 p.m. And during the general election, November 1st. To November 5th, 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. The idea again is to extend these hours to make them more available to the public. Additionally, we have places to deposit. These are drop boxes that are purpose-built for elections. These aren't boxes converted from other purposes, but these are built rugged for the purposes of elections. The slots are located 44 inches from the ground. On the drive side, for people approaching it from a car, it's at 48 inches high. There's no sharp corners to it. The small, and so there's also drop boxes at our voter service centers. So just an interesting fact, it's a very, very popular option for people to use this as an alternative to the United States Postal Service dropping off their voted ballot envelopes. Very popular. roughly 27% in the general election of ballots came through these drop boxes. We will be adding an additional 3 boxes for the 2022 elections. So we're going to be adding an additional box at Asing Community Park to fill that puka in the Eva side. Sunset Beach, the Wailaiki Neighborhood Park, again, to fill that puka on the East Honolulu side. And Kani Chan Aliamanu Neighborhood Park, so to again fill that puka in the Honolulu side, the Salt Lake area. We will be relocating the box that we had at Kahuku Community Park on the North Shore to Sunset Beach Recreation Center. And the reason we relocated that box was to improve accessibility to voters. That original site was not as accessible. So we wanted to move the box to someplace for the North Shore voters that was accessible, physically accessible to voters. So that kind of wraps up a breezy overview of the various things that we've done to prepare for the 2022 election. We're kind of again, it's a work in progress. I think that we look forward to the committee's comments and review of the process, perhaps observing the adequacy of our efforts, and then providing input to us or through the Office of Elections to help improve our services going forward.
Any questions, members?
This is Brandon. Can you 2 questions? Number 1, can you tell us the website address?
It's honoluluelections.us.
Okay. And then just out of curiosity, have you had any at the last election, did you have any times where the collection boxes were taken?
No, we had no incidences with the collection boxes.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's a concern regarding that, but the boxes are rugged and built securely. You can only fit envelopes. You can't put up like a plate lunch through the slot.
No, but like if someone wanted to take them.
They're a ton. They weigh a ton. You probably,
okay.
Yeah, special equipment. Yeah, you need heavy equipment to move it, and if you tried to ram it, your vehicle would probably suffer more damage than the box itself. The boxes actually are in wide deployment in the Northwest for those large vote by mail states in Washington and the states of Oregon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, members? I have a few questions, Rex.
Yeah.
Rex, I've dealt with you in the past knowing my signature. I used to sign it on my envelope, and being blind, it never comes out the same with what's on record. So normally people put an X and get a witness. Can you elaborate how this year's election you can track the ballot electronically, or can we call and find out if you got the ballot? I did that last night. I called to issue the ballot.
Well, I'm sorry, do just clarify. So Donald, you want to know how we track your ballot?
Yeah.
Well, every ballot that is sent to a voter is managed through the voter registration system. So there's a special set of numbers on a barcode that are issued to the voter. So we're able to check it in when we come back, when it's returned to us from the voter. So we're able to notice, okay, we mailed you one for the general and a different barcode for the primary. If we for instance, reissued you a ballot, a new code would be issued. So it's really managed through the voter registration system. So it prevents things like duplicate ballots from being accepted. It prevents the fact that we also compare signatures. That's part of the validation process. Anytime we replace a ballot, that is also logged in. So that's how it's tracked. It's tracked through our voter registration system that attaches unique what we call application IDs to every mailer that we send out to a voter.
I was told that from Anthony on community and some others that this year they have a special feature where you can go online and find out where you get your ballot agencies of the county. So,
right. The state is managing a program called Ballot Tracks, which is an opt-in program. So you have to register for it. It's available now. Yeah, you can register for the program where it'll send messages to you, say, hey, your ballot has been mailed to you. And then also let you know that your ballot has been received and its disposition. So if there's an issue, like if there's an issue, for instance, that we claim to have mailed your ballot, but you haven't received it, that's one of the good features of this. So you can follow up with your respective county clerk to troubleshoot that issue. Additionally, it'll confirm and let you know that your ballot was received and that it's good to go, and it was forwarded to the State Office of Elections for counting.
So Rick, what's the phone number we can call for if we want to check? If we don't have the capability, can we call your county office?
Yeah, call the elections division. We can be reached at 808-768-3800.
Okay, and then also the where the whole. I heard that it's on lined up with the line where it's signature, so us people are blind will be prepared to line up our signature cards and sign evenly on the line for the envelope on side.
I'm sorry, Donald. I'm having a difficult time hearing you. I'm trying to crank up the volume.
The hole that's in the back of the envelope or going through, it's lined up. I think they would say with the signature or your signature, so it's easy for us people are blind to.
Right. We have the envelopes for the 2022 elections now feature a hole in the middle. So you got to orient the envelope properly, though. So if you have the flap down and on the back, you locate the center hole and you sign to the right of the hole. So it's there. You can feel it. Now there's actually now a tactile part of the envelope that you can feel it, and you can now sign. That is a new feature that we've added for the 2022 election.
And question about the machines at the different centers. Are they enclosed, or people can go without if I instructed them? You know how we go in the ballot booth. It has a booth also.
Yes, there'll be what we've gotten rid of the booth now, but we have additionally like a privacy area where you can sit down and vote.
Yeah. And nobody can see who you're voting for from far away when it's right screen.
Yeah, we it's set up so that you can vote in private.
And Rick, is there anything in the future with the vendors that you purchase these machines to have audio voting with a microphone headset? So, for instance, a woman with no hands or arms, would it be possible to just do a verbal thing, confidential, number one for the party, number two for this party?
Yeah, I think with regards to the voting machine stuff, again, that's one of the things that we've we can take down those concerns, and either you can forward them to the Office of Elections, because again, voting technology is the Office of Elections kuleana, but we can obviously receive those concerns and pass them along.
I'll bring that along at the meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's where the handoff. So that's why, there are advisory committees formed in every county. But then likewise, we also have an advisory committee at the state level, and they're probably better suited to address voting technology.
Okay, so I appreciate your telling us all about this for the voting process. And I look forward for my vote to go in on the primary and general.
Thank you. I'm happy to have presented to you.
Thank you. And I look forward for you to maybe come on the media on the radio station. Maybe
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item.
Yeah, so Chair, the next agenda item is number 10, the meeting schedule pursuant to Act 213, Session Law 2021. So I want to make a note. I don't, or Shannon, maybe you can clarify this for me. Since we did lose Charlotte, we don't have quorum, so we can't actually take a vote on this. But can we still discuss it?
Go into exec session to discuss it.
Okay. But we can't vote to go
Quickly.
into executive session.
Does anybody know what happened to Charlotte? Can we reach her?
We haven't been able to.
Can someone give her a call or something?
Or if I give her a call, then I'm gonna call back on Sam's phone. Does Nico have her phone number?
No, we don't have it. We don't have any way to contact her right now.
Hmm.
Donald, would you mind trying to call Charlotte, and then you can call back this same number and we'll get you back on.
I'll call Sam's number. Let me go log on to them.
Okay.
Try to contact her.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why she left.
Maybe you can knock me off on Sam's phone. That'd be easier.
Okay.
Are we going to the breakout room?
Not quite yet. Just hold on for a bit.
Okay.
We are not able to contact Charlotte though. So at this point, we're just gonna adjourn the meeting, and we'll send out the notice the same way we did this for the next one at some point. So Chair, if that's okay with you, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I think since we're doing quorum, two members are not here, just me and myself and Brandon. I'll work with you folks about the next meeting and what agenda items we should put on. The primary is coming up. When is it? When is the ballots gonna be sent out? The 20th of July? Correct?
It's going to be sent out the July 20 and 21st. Should
I'm gonna be on a trip anyway, so from July 4th to the 11th, so probably have to do something later, but I'll work with you folks.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
You wanna say goodbye to everybody and we'll end the recording.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Are we finishing?
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Happy 4th of July, you guys.
Well,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.